Hi, my name is Patrick Cassidy. You're listening to The New Spy. I cover everything esoteric, from government secrets to religious secrets. Today I'm going to talk about why Americans aren't safe from the threat of terrorism, as well as some government esoteric secrets about the Anthrax attacks in 2001 and Bruce Ivans, the American anthrax scientist. Let me start off by telling you why I think we're not safe. I think we're not safe because our law enforcement is undertrained. They're primarily focused on dealing with American citizens. Their knowledge of terrorism overseas usually consists of maybe a 30-minute debriefing, or if they do go to a college class, they may have some more education. Some people have studied Middle Eastern studies and more advanced things. They usually go on to work for the federal government. But even those people are sort of propagandized into this very simplistic understanding of what the origins of terrorism are. None of them have studied what a double agent is. The underwear bomber was a DEA informant. The large majority of large-scale terrorist attacks are committed by double agents, and none of these government officials have any training in this whatsoever. So for this reason, Americans shouldn't feel calm when their government says, be calm, we're keeping you safe. No, we need to hold our government accountable because we are not safe. They don't know what they're doing. And whenever they conduct malfeasance or misconduct, people are very rarely prosecuted, especially high-level intelligence officials who engage in this type of behavior, where they know a terrorism attack is going to occur, but they allow the terrorists into the country anyways. The number one way to stop terrorism is to cut it off at the border, to prevent them from coming into the country in the first place. And our government's done very little to prevent this. So that's my opinion on why we're not safe. When the next terrorism attack occurs, it's not really rocket science. You don't have to have an advanced master's degree in security, like I'm actually achieving right now. It's really common sense. Cut it off at the border, get rid of the malfeasance and misconduct, stop bringing in informants from Afghanistan to become the next underwear bomber. So let me move on to the government secrets. Bruce Ivans was the person who supposedly fabricated anthrax in a American government military base, or in an American scientific, supposedly high security military base, where this American anthrax was the Ames strain that was aerized, and that's how the FBI found out that Al-Qaeda didn't make it, supposedly. Well, the White House knew on 9/11, or they were provided intelligence, that they were going to be attacked with anthrax, and they were given a drug called Cipro. Well, this Cipro drug was only given to people within the White House. It wasn't given to Congress because members of Congress and the Senate were attacked. Several people died. Now, this is malfeasance and misconduct. The fact that they knew that there was going to be a terrorist attack and they didn't provide that to the rest of the government makes them, possibly even guilty of murder. They knew that a murder was going to occur, but they didn't do anything about it. And they can probably hide behind some sort of state secrets or something like that. But people died because they didn't notify them that they were going to be attacked by anthrax. What's worse than this, or what's more esoteric, the reason why I'm interested in it, is because the intelligence they were given, I believe, told them that they were being attacked by Al-Qaeda. Now, this is interesting since Al-Qaeda didn't attack them. There was no evidence that Al-Qaeda was going to attack them. They were attacked by Bruce Ivans. Well, the only evidence against Bruce Ivans is this really weird cryptology book that reads like a fairy tale. It's Godo Escher Bach. And it has these sort of DNA strain cryptology parts within the book that supposedly were used on the anthrax letters. And this was the evidence that the FBI had against the American anthrax scientists. Well, this evidence is really, really flaky to begin with. What's even more flaky is that he goes out at 1 or 2 in the morning, or supposedly real early in the morning or something, throws the book in his trash can while the FBI is surveilling him, almost as if he just hands the evidence over to them. And then he conveniently commits suicide on acetaminophen, and the FBI says, case closed. Congress says, no, we think more than one person was involved. And the FBI tells Congress, fuck you. No, there wasn't more people involved. We're closing the case because this guy committed suicide. And it really was case closed for, up until this day, there's a couple people who still talk about it. Excellent documentary called Anthrax Wars. You have anthrax scientists begging citizens to become more aware of this threat. How did he get the anthrax out of the facility in the first place? David Kelly was another suspicious suicide where you actually had a coroner come out and say that he was murdered, that David Kelly didn't commit suicide. So you have multiple anthrax scientists conveniently committing suicide who have close ties to 9/11 or post 9/11 events. And the biggest issue here is the misconduct and the malfeasance, where the White House is taking anthrax drugs. They confirmed that they're taking them on 9/11 prior to the anthrax attacks, and they don't inform the rest of the government. They allow the rest of the government to be attacked, essentially. This was not only the smoking gun in the pre-Iraqi war intelligence. This is possibly the smoking gun for who's conducting these particular terror attacks against America. Where did this intelligence come from? That they were notified to take Cipro on 9/11. And why is this sort of stovepiping operation with the Office of Special Plans going on where they're intentionally providing false information, false intelligence to the White House and the Pentagon? There is a whistleblower, and I'm going to slaughter her name, but I believe her name's Kwiatkowski, and she came out and said the Office of Special Plans was giving us a whole bunch of weird propaganda, even within the Pentagon, for people who worked within the Pentagon. And there were other whistleblowers who blew the whistle in the Office of Special Plans. There were Israeli spies who were arrested within the Office of Special Plans. But basically what this is a competitive intelligence analysis group. And even since Team B, I use the term Team B operation in my blogs. Team B was an operation back in the 1970s where they fabricated evidence about Russian submarines, and they supplied that to the White House and the Pentagon saying, give us more money, build up the military. Well, somebody blew the whistle saying, hey, this intelligence is false. Where did you get it from? And they were like, we're not going to tell you. And they never did, too. They never did. They basically fabricated the fake intel. They created the Team B operation in order to provide the fake intel to the Pentagon and the White House. That's the same thing that's going on in the Office of Special Plans. Curveball was not a mistake. Curveball was fabricated. The Office of Special Plans was the curveball. That's what they were. That's what their job was. The CIA wasn't going to provide the false intelligence, so they had to have this competitive intelligence group in order to provide the fake intel to the White House and the Pentagon. Well, Bruce Ivins, whether he did or didn't commit suicide, is really irrelevant. What's relevant is that the White House knew the anthrax attacks were going to occur. They were provided intelligence that this was coming from Al-Qaeda. This ended up being the pre-Iraqi war intelligence smoking gun, but it came from America. It didn't come from Al-Qaeda. So where did the intel that the anthrax attack was going to occur, and then it just coincidentally occurs by Bruce Ivins rather than being done by Al-Qaeda? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and a lot of people that need to be prosecuted for malfeasance and misconduct. And I think it's going to happen in the near future. Some people say, oh, it'll never happen in our lifetime. And I simply say I disagree. Look at the picture you're looking at on the screen. This is the smoking gun for who committed these crimes.